reason why we were actually able to overcome them, but they did have a different standing. That was Jesp from Team Endpoint. That was in.
What was crazy there as well was the fact that it was 14-15.
Yep.
It was a 1 versus 5 from Karmapang, who's going to be playing later tonight for Team Reason, but a 1 versus 5 at 15-14. It's a bit audacious in itself. But anyway, we are live into this one. We'll be the pistol round, and I mentioned before, what happens if Team Infused lose that knife round and start on the unfavored side? And here they are on their terrorist side, Inferno. Let's take a look. Petiscore once again with the kit double flashbang. On the flip side again, double HGs. Are they going to be chucking those towards Car? Yes, they are, but will it connect?
Oh, Hadje, of course, keeping the energy going from the previous round. Snoz, I'm going to warn you already. Don't get overwhelmed and pass out on me on this map, because this is absolutely ludicrous. Hadje is a one-man army, and he's keeping up that aggression.
He is indeed. I mean, we saw 20 kills in the first half of the previous map, and already a lightning strike straight towards the Dome of Trials will grant Team EnVyUs a one-man advantage. 1 minute 20 on the clock. The bomb is towards Apps, MCK, and Eccles. What can they really do here? One player there towards B. That will be Red Snake. Has nades though, so he can actually smoke towards CT, chuck a flashbang, try and cause a ruse and a fake, but I don't think EnVyUs are really going to be budging.
EnVyUs just need to play it smart. They've got the opening frag on the board. They just have to play for trades. And especially with the pistols they have. Play off the back of close angles. You can potentially go for those snipes with these pistols as well. Hadje, he's still got the confidence as well. Holding towards Banana. He could single-handedly dispatch another member, slow them down. Not only that, he then completely opens the map to be so much easier to win this one out. Oh, he will get punished though by Red Snake.
That's a big kill. You can see already Lambert is actually rotating there from Arch. So it's going to be 2 players alone on this A site versus the 3 of Infused. Charging up towards Arch now. See if he can hold it.
Oh, VKL has to rotate off as well because he didn't quite realize. Now finally got the information that it is going to be the attack towards the A bomb site. They're getting their feet tread in. They're starting to dig in towards the site. The boots have been strapped up and they're ready to try and defend it. But the retake is coming. They're fast on their heels as they arrive. Can they actually get these openers though? They need to try and do some damage. Playing close over by Boiler, and Red Snake keeps up the aggression. Finds another frag into the round, but unfortunately Jax will do damage. Petiscore comes into effect as well. But Mick, playing close by Quad, will dispatch of 1 man. It's left and a 1 versus 1 here. Petiscore has the bomb. He has the hit.
No.
He's gonna tap it, goes for the straight commit. Mick will peek into it, but there's not really time. Mick somehow is able to grab it though, and they do it in the last second.
That must have been milliseconds away from being defused there. You can see Neil M shouting and screaming, trying to rally these players up, trying to fire them up. Enjoy this match. Enjoy playing on the stage. If you don't enjoy it, you're too stressed, you're too confined. It will mirror that once you start playing. Players will be playing scared. They're too scared to make a mistake and to get shouted at.
This is the thing. That's how they need to approach this. Just ad-lib it a little bit. Go a bit more free ball. Just take the aggression. Thrive off the back of that. And Neil especially as well in that coach role. He is the one that gets them pumped up. He needs to start bringing that energy. We need to see some of the fists getting raised.
Exactly that. Red Snake there. The IGL and captain of the Infused side. Mirroring that would be Lambert there, directly in front of your screens. The IGL and Orpa for the EnVyUs side. Speaking to Alex from LDLC, said that he's the fallen of the French scene.
Obviously a very quite important title to be donned upon you there.
Exactly that, but you can see how it does come into fruition, right? The slow, steady style of play.
That's the thing. Very methodical, very slow, clean and clinical. The way they approach things as well. Smart communication. You can see calling for flashes. A lot of stuff that we see very limited in sort of different tier UK teams. Whereas they have this completely done. All the base level stuff is out of the way. You can see they actually have quite a lot of depth with their strat book as well.
I mean, this is probably a question I'm going to throw to you instead. You see these players like Lambert and all these IGLs that come out of these foreign scenes, right? Think about how many great IGLs there are in Denmark. I mean, God, off the top of my head, on the spot, I'm just trying to think. I mean, what? Glaive, Carrigan, Hunden or whatnot. MSL. I mean, look, that's 4 already. Top of the scene. And you look at the UK and you're thinking, who can really bring these up-and-coming players through, right? Rom, of course. But what I'm trying to say is there's a lack of potentially structure and good leadership there for these young stars to really flourish and learn and gain experience, because as soon as you join one of these teams, there's instant pressure, instantly judged, and from there you just kick like that.
Well, that's what I think you see, obviously, with that. It breeds talent a lot better because those older players from different scenes, they're a lot more willing to sort of try and raise these players up, teach them those scenarios, whereas we've got an awful lot of talent that just wants to bring their A game, and there is always potential that we're going to see those super teams start to fall through, but right now it just sort of seems like the structure and the breeding that in talent, players like Hadje that are just playing unreal, incredibly crisp. The guy's so smart, mechanically as well. just seems very, very sound in his own game.
Thing is, though, these Team EnVyUs players is the academy team, of course. You know, there's no Happy or Six or anything like that, but these players are not really the youngest. I believe all of them are above 20 years old, around that 22, 21-year-old age mark. So I don't want to say it's a bit of a shame, but imagine if you had a Hadji when he was 17, 18. I mean, there's real potential. Obviously, there still is, but just imagine how good he could have, well, will be just a few years' time. But anyway, enough of that, enough of the filling, as we are able to finally get back into this Inferno match, into the second round. So, going to be the force spike coming out from the CT side. You can see 4 sets of armor. Hadji, they're actually being dropped at CZ, which means he will be able to buy up that Kevlar and helmet. And versus that will be the 4 UMP buy and the 1 AK there from Mick. So 1-0 right now.
Yeah.
Infused, they can't let this one slip, but they do Cobblestone.
Obviously, let's see how they're going to play it. A lot of utility to play with. They need to just play it slow, really. Use that smart approach to play back confidence in these scenarios. Aaron's 6 shot comes through, though, as he dispatches a VKL. That could have been a little bit risky. If he got the opener on the board with the CZ, that's where it starts to go south. But Aaron, a lot of confidence on display. You can see just holding their angles. The Trials is there as well, so if it does go south, they can trade efficiently. And they've got a lot of information from this early.
They have indeed. Aaron there with the first frag, granting his team that 1-man lead, 1 minute left on the clock. Jackstope gets flushed in. Mick is blind, but luckily for him, that Eccles playing anti-flash. That's good teamwork. This is already far more promising, far better than what we saw on Cobblestone. Hopefully, though, it's not short-lived and they can carry this through onto the buy rounds and potentially get their footing into this best of 2.
Lambert playing from that position, close by Quad, trying to do a bit of damage, but unfortunately just gets his head knocked clean off by Aaron as they now approach control of the site. Hadji is in position, though, over by Library. Unfortunately, Pettiscale is miles away. He just wants to save as he has the armor and kit. They walk straight into Hadji. Even if he just saves this UMP, great play from him at the end of the round there.
Yep, does have Kevlar and helmet as well and a flashbang, so he can drop over that CZ to someone else. You can have the flashbang, I mean, you can have 2 pistols grouped towards B, you can flash them over towards Banana. That's potentially a way to try and find 1 or 2 kills. I mean, we've already seen that Mick was blind there. Imagine if you had an extra person to try and get that kill onto Mick and then Eccles.
Nicely done. You can see EnVyUs as well. That's the difference maker. Rounds like this, they have smart positional play that's coming out. Another frag they get off the back of that as well. Even if they recover that weapon, it would be just ridiculous to see them getting out this round with 2 free guns just from finding these frags.
Still, though, the fact that they were versus the force buy of EnVyUs and having 3 alive, the bomb exploding means good for their economy. Only having to drop 2 rifles or 2 SMGs over. Adam Eccles there, you can see the concentration gleaming through his eyes. This is the first time he is on stage, so great opportunity for all these younger talents. Shiki from Vexed tweeted out, enjoy it, gain experience and learn from it. Don't take these up-and-coming, these first weeks too serious. To see how strong you can get towards the end of the Elite Series where things really do come into fruition. So anyway, going to be the eco here from Team EnVyUs. Only the Kevlar and helmet onto Hadji and Pettiscale as well, saving that Kevlar with the UMP.
A little bit of noise is going to be made. Trials, of course, in position here over by Bedroom. Trials is actually quite a key player into this round as well, off the back of this play. If he can find these opening frags, gain app control, it would be huge. But they are there in close proximity. They can trade for each other, and they have this crossfire set up, so it's quite risky.
Yep, should be fine, though. Eccles with the Mac 10 towards B, so he should be able just to run in, get the information there. If he dies, it's not the end of the world. You've only given away the Mac 10. It's not an AK like Aaron and MCK currently have, so not really too much you can do into the round with that. So Eccles now might get flashed in here, trying to see if there's a stack towards this B site, and initially there is. Pettiscale with the UMP towards or boosted up onto the first oranges that might be able to catch some players off guard, and they're doing this nice crossfire there. This is the SK crossfire, right?
Yeah. This is so deadly. Oh, timing with Jax as he looks away. He goes back, trying to do a bit of damage with the Deagle, but unfortunately nothing matters. The smoke has gone down, but this is where this position comes into effect. Red Snake clears it, though. Smart players, they've been able to clear everyone out of the site. Jax can't get back in effectively. The smoke walls have zoned him out.
5 versus 3. It's going to be a fairly clean EK from Team Infused. Hopefully for them, they don't really have many people falling. And going to the afterlife here is they want to have as many people alive as possible. Keep their money afloat, keep their money strong in case they do lose his first bar and allow themselves to continuously buy up. Jax, though, let's get 1 kill. Hadji here, not really too much good to the UMP, might as well go for it, but then again, CT side Inferno, the UMP fairly strongly towards apps, towards Arch, and and call those close range angles, you can really get some good effect at close range with it.
Yeah, you see those tight angles where they're going to charge into you. You have a little bit of the upper hand in that scenario. You can rip your way through. I mean, obviously, if they play it more as a scout round as well, it's not really that much risk.
Yeah, exactly that. So, first bar run out to the second map. Infused already getting more rounds than they did in the last map after winning the pistol. So far so good. If you are the boys in red Infused fan, MCK there, I mentioned before, the potential he has into a round. So, round 4. Let's see. Red Snake has 6.5k, but it's going to be carrying over that SMG. Reason being is if you win this round with the SMGs, your money is going to be absolutely outrageous. I mean, you can see he already got 6,000. If he wins this, that's 9,000 for him. MCK, the AK, going fast towards Banana.
Oh, Jax with the openers. This is ridiculous. A hat-trick comes out of nowhere. Absolutely flamboyant play. He never should have got away with. Petty skill with the backup of Lambert as well. You set it up for Infused to really go huge, but all it took was Jax to shut him down.
So why are there 3 players there for the EnVyUs side? Typically, when you put 3 players towards Banana, you're going to be smoking deep, molotoving towards old logs and molotoving towards close and taking control of Banana. Instead, though, they anticipate the play from Infused. They know they still have the SMG, so they're going to go for something fast. So Lambert there, making the good read, expecting a fast push towards B. That's why there's 3 players there. And you can see the bait setup they had. Jax, though, even if he only found 1 frag and got traded out, that player towards sandbags as well, that second player that was being baited for, would have easily been able to shoot them in the back and land 1 or 2 headshots.
Incredible stuff. It's just looking like out of nowhere. They've got too much firepower to handle. That was kind of what we saw in the first map as well. Even if you get around on the board, they're just going to bite back. EnVyUs, they're so quick at snapping into the scenarios. Just ridiculous frags as well. Kills that you don't really expect to be going in their favor at that point. A heavy rush like that, you walked into a stack, they tried to clear it efficiently. Even if they lost 1 man, you expect the trade to come in. Not for them to just get mowed down in that fashion.
Seeing Neil there, tired after the energy he's been using, trying to keep these players fired up. So far, Infused looking fairly decent. I mean, they won the pistol, so obviously you are expected to get the 2 rounds following that, so 3 rounds for them. First buy round going heavily in favor of Team EnVyUs, making it that 3-1 scoreline. And actually, even though they won those 3 rounds and they had the money fairly decent, 6,000 on Red Snake or 4,000 across the board, I believe if they do lose the second round to EnVyUs, they may be forced onto that reset leading into the 5th round.
A very awkward situation to be in. It's just a matter of wait and tell if that is going to be the issue and if that's how it will actually affect the flow of the game. The Pickles lad there.
There's Team Endpoint. Jesp, Pickles, Cryptics, AdamXO as well. Got to give him a good shout out. Jasmine, of course, social media manager of Endpoint. Still, we saw Endpoint play earlier today. Not the best showing for them, but obviously for a lot of these teams, it is, for some of the players, first time LAN experience. So for them, it's about getting comfortable on the stage and being able to deliver what you can from online right in front of us on stage.
This is the thing as well. If you look at it, the difference between both sides.
Oh, yeah. I mean, EnVyUs are just there, like, all the energy's gone. They're upset, look distraught. EnVyUs is having a great time.
They're loving it.
Talking about what they got on Nando's, obviously. What did you get?
Half chicken, mate.
Yeah, I mean, if you get more than the half chicken, it's a bit too filling as well. I mean, especially if you get 2 sides. But
welcome back to Nando's talk. Obviously, other brands of food are available.
Of course, of course.
Red Snake, though, that's a snake. It's not a chicken. But can they bite back?
Oi.
Question.
Sharp one there.
I think snakes bite. Well, they sliver consistently. Biting's more of an occasional thing. They do hiss.
In defense.
Yeah.
If only...
well, that's the thing. CT side, are they going to bite?
Well, they're on the T side.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. You said in defense.
Yeah. Anyway, though, defense...
They'll sliver down.
Exactly. So, sliver down already. They're currently marching towards B. Is this another fast play towards Banana?
Oh, Lambert as well, leading the charge with the AWP in hand. He is going to get a myriad of nades actually lobbed towards his head. Jack's in a prime time position. They don't lose anything, though.
But what is this from Infused? No one towards A. 3 players still here for the EnVyUs side. They're going to be hearing steps. People pulling out nades as well. Pins being pulled. The flash comes in towards Jack. That's the first frag there. The double frag there for Petterstone.
Oh, this is very awkward. Just playing around the flashbangs as soon as those Infused players are away. It's so easy for him to find the kills. Aaron's a little bit of damage over there. There's Lambert finally chiming in with that railgun.
Look at the discipline there. Doesn't go for the reface. He knows there's still a chance for Aaron to win this. You don't typically see this from the UK teams. The discipline, the cohesion. I mean, if that's a UK player, an up-and-coming UK player or whatever, I mean, that's just going to be complete arrogance, complete ego, trying to go for the flashy plays. They want the highlights. You can see already just the difference in styles.
EU mindset right now.
Exactly that.
As well.
Exactly.
They play around the flashbang. They actually peek before the flash as well. They knew the backs are turned because they're peeking into the wall, trying to cover themselves in the flashbang so they can try and go for the frags when they peek. Instantly gets 2 frags, and then you leave Jax to mop up the rest. And Lambert, of course, with the AWP for the final couple. Infused now as well, broke in terms of economy. They do have the Deagles, bit of a lifeline, but nothing really to write home about.
Yeah. Going to be playing this one nice and slow as well on their T side. You've got the 3 Deagles, MCK, Aaron, and Red Snake. If they can land a headshot or 2, try and find multiple entries towards this A site, then there's a chance they win it. Especially as well towards A, right? There's so many headshot angles you can play towards pit, towards site on those default boxes. If you don't have Kevlar, it's not the end of the world for yourself.
Lambert here as well. If they go for this burst play, out of boiler, try and take control towards A site from quad, he is going to be able to get a ridiculous amount of frags off the back of this.
And finally as well, there's 3 players towards A. It seems like Lambert has such a good read on Infuse right now. When they're going towards B, there's 3 there. He stacks them there. When they're going towards A, you can see already stats them out the sky.
Swift, as he finds that opening shot, is able to fall back into a better position as well. They can be holding the angle. There's a second follow-up frag. Hungry for the Vern. Of course, he finds it. Can he get a quad kill? Of course he can. And it's just one man left standing. Mick quaking in his boots. And it looks like Lambert's going to try and do something a little bit special, but it's not meant to happen as Mick goes huge of a double deeg before Jax will put him down.
That's just a glimpse at the potential skill that MCK has. I wasn't alluding to anything when I mentioned how good he was online. And it simply meant the potential there is unbelievable. And you can see in that round there, those 2 quick flick Deagle frags were sick, but not quite as sick as his AWP flicks.
Obviously, I mean, in terms of LAN wins as well, Mick got a win of the
EPS
Premiership behind him. Yeah,
United Estonia. Was that with Joe?
No, that was with the Estonians. Nugger, HS.
HS, yeah, of course. Qualified for the major. Of course,
yeah,
well,
actually quite a good team at the time. Obviously ripped their way through. That was against Infused, so.
Was indeed. Jax as well, pushes him through that smoke, trying to get the first frag, but actually Eccles has his number. Talking about numbers, it's going to be the 1-man advantage right now for Team Infused. Thanks to the aggressive play, but actually spooks the foot out, I think, actually. Trying to see if he can shoot through his heel.
Yeah, go for the kneecaps. Common approach, break the kneecaps.
Did you see it?
Does have the angle. This is incredible pixel angle. Ooh, went for the
legs him. He does leg him.
Does leg him. Oh my god, that's actually huge.
It is indeed. Aaron now. The thing is, right, psychologically as well, once they go into the further rounds, the fact that he knows he's going to play that aggressive, he's going to play a little bit more cautious.
Early push coming out as well. They're just going to try and flood their way around. They are left in a 4 versus 4 that's manageable. They lose the low player in Aaron as well, so everyone's fairly stable in HP. It looks quite symmetrical right now. Nice little boost coming out from VKL, but he can't find too much. Things get a little bit too hot from Hajj as well as he's sent off to the Burns ward, leaving it just on the final 3 members of Team EnVyUs to hold back this site push. But really, the push is going towards the B bomb site.
Exactly that. Lambert now finding the frag onto MCK, and once they peek out and see that there's no one there, you can see already it's all down to Peterschool.
Firing off a couple of pot shots. The flashbang will go out to delay as they slip their way in towards the site, looking fairly effective as they've been able to sliver in. Nice prime time position. Can't get the bomb planted as well. Pacescale is going to try and go for the smoke boost here with the AWP as well. Oh, this could be huge if they can actually find an opening frag, get themselves into a 3 versus 2. It would be manageable, but they're struggling a little bit. They finally get into the elevated angle, but the flashbang will slow them down. They're going to go for the 3-man push through runes.
Potentially 2 kits, no utility right now in the CT retake. They can't smoke off banana or smoke the bomb. They have to have dry faces into the crosshairs. Talking about crosshairs, VK takes the frag onto Trials. Red Snake though chimes in, finds Peterschool, 2 versus 2.
Red Snake doing damage right now as Red Snake strikes. A hat-trick comes out for the in-game leader of Infused. And he is looking crisp at that point. Great defense, stops him from getting back onto the site, and Infused finally gets some momentum.
Confidence frags are so vital, especially for Red Snake himself. Someone who brings himself down a lot, right?
Yeah, very critical of his own plays.
Exactly that, right? You could say, oh, you're sick, you're playing well, but he would still say to himself, no, I'm not, I'm still playing bad, or whatever. I mean, quite hard for himself to, quite hard for him, sorry, to bring himself back up, but that's why he got nil there, to show him, telling him he's unreal.
That's that dynamic, of course. Gets him in that good position, gets the calls going, gets the blood flowing, and everyone feels happy with the plays. Right now, Infused leading 4 rounds on the board. Team EnVyUs, can they bite back?
So, Lambert again, aggressive towards Abs. We saw him tag up Aaron. Could this be The timer actually doesn't shoot him through the kneecap. Instead, straight through the dome and lands the first entry for EnVyUs.
Oh, this time around it's going to be Mick doming him. Finds the opening headshot. VKL is going to try and respond, but Mick plays phenomenally. Shuts them both down so swiftly. Hajj as well. He's got the Max 7, which is great in close range, but playing from balcony, spamming down towards quad. Can he find these frags? No, he can't. Trials really quite swift there as he will execute him. Jax and Pettyscale might have to just go for the full save.
They may indeed. Observer, if we can take a quick look at the cash, please. There we go. So look, Jack's there, 400, 200, so they won't be able to buy up into the next one. So it's actually crucial here. They do save these M4s. Only lost one round. It's going to be the second one as well. So that's what, 1,900 bonus. So for the EnVyUs side, they're going to get 1.9k. Full eco that. 2.4k into the next round as well following that one. That'll be the 10th round. So you're going to have a decent buy, fairly standard buy, 4.5k, 4.4k. So that's what? M4, Kevlar, flash, smoke.
Yeah.
So definitely a lot you can do with that. Smart here for them just to save. Obviously the two M4s, if they stack towards the site and Lamb has a good read and puts them into the site that Team Infused may rush or go to or execute on, then really there's a chance that they can actually take this one with just two rifles.
It's nice as well, obviously, Infused, they all exit together, they play it smart, so they only have the one casualty, so they're not letting their economy get dented. They're just trying to keep themselves healthy rather than playing anything too risky.
My God.
These frags were unreal. Incredible stuff coming out from Mick. And this is what we need to see as well. He had teeming with confidence before the game. You could see it in him.
Oh, yeah.
The swagger on the walk up towards the stage, he was loving it. He was like, yeah, we're going to win.
He's walked past us, we're going to bang him.
Yeah.
Fortunately for them, though, I was a bit on the flip side on the first map. So far, so good, though, for Infused. Already got 5 rounds, same amount of rounds they got on the previous map altogether, and only 9 rounds in, so much stronger showing for them.
Haji
with the Zeus. See, it's only $100 for the kill, but then again, a kill is a kill.
It's also the mental game as well. Not going to be fantastic if he's able to pull one of these off the back. Could be an electrifying round. Of course, it will be. Tases Mick. That's going to be a little bit awkward. Oh, the response from Trials. That's ridiculous. Finding that headshot so crisp on the corridor as well. Puts the Magnum 4 versus 4.
Can actually hear the players typing as well. I imagine he's saying nice shot right now towards Trials. That was unreal. But
So
did get dinked up, though. Actually picks up a Zeus as well off the dead body. That's quite interesting. But anyway, 2 rounds separated these two teams. We're in a 4 versus 4. Only Kevlar and Pettyscale now, as Jack does fall. Hadji did revive and salvage that Kalashnikov, though. So right now, we're in a 4 versus 4. 3 rifles on the CT side, but only 1 set of Kevlar.
This is the thing. It's the one man there to defend the site as well, Pettyscale. He has the Molotov and the flashbang. He can delay, but it just depends if he can actually ward them off. Needs to try and get 2 frags on the board here, ideally, to buy his teammates enough time to rotate, or else these Ts could be in very good hunker down after plants.
Yes, a Molotov. 30 seconds left. Chucks the molly in. 6 seconds gone. Smoke comes in. We should be seeing a rotation here for the CT side fairly soon. Execute comes in. Molotovs rain through. Pettyscale now alone on the side.
And it all falls to him to just delay, allow his teammates more time to rotate in as they are quite far away. Will peek out wide, finds the opening frag. Smart actual allocation here of the damage he wants to go for. Takes down 2 players. That is fantastic. Exactly how we need to play the round. Leaves him in a 3 versus 2 retake.
Bomb is being planted. Oh my God, he gets the dink as well. Finds that frag. Red Sync does fall, but Echo's there. Finds the 2 kills. Time is gone.
That is so smart. So clever. He goes for
There was too much going on. They didn't even see the time.
Incredible stuff. Obviously, for the way he played that, there wasn't enough time. If he denied the bomb plant there, they instantly lose the round. Exactly. So he goes in on his lonesome, plays through the back of the smokes, gets the dink off on the drive-by and the follow-up headshot, takes him down, denies the bomb. A ludicrous way to win the round. Absolutely insane that he's pulled that off, but great individual decision-making.
Massive play there from Pettyscale as well. Finding those 2 frags, making it 2 versus 3.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously, they denied the plant to go down. Time expired, and Echoes, even though he found those 2 frags, and in the 1 versus 1, probably would have won it as well. That last player remaining for the CT side had no armor, so you do have to be favoring him there. Jax finds the kill on the FSO mentioned Echoes, resulting in a 1-man advantage with 1 minute 25 on the clock right now for EnVyUs. Aaron, this is Tech 9 to his name, give me 3 AKs as well. No AWP for the T side right now in Inferno. Not really the end of the world. Typically the AWP is only used for map control, early frags, and if you haven't got really that dynamic AWP, you don't really need to bring it out. You can't really use that much of a supportive style AWP on your T-side Inferno.
Yeah, that's a horrible dink as well for Aaron. He's on 10 HP into the round. They've already lost Eccles.
It's pretty much a 3 versus 5 at this point. Jax as well, if he spams towards the smoke, could find himself that kill onto Aaron, but they can actually boost here.
This is smart. Get Jax in the elevated angle. The amount of damage you can do with a Flailstorm of bullets, but it's not going to work. They spam back through the smoke. Trials as well, looking on point. He's finally started to get some momentum behind him, and he's doing damage. Rips his way through VKL. It's left on Petiscale. He's out of position. You can't really effectively go for this retake. Once again, probably just going to have to hold for exits.
Unbelievable. That Infused managed to salvage that round.
Oh, yeah.
Trials goes huge with the 2K there towards the A side. Gets dinged up initially, but somehow, some way, finds those 2 AK headshots. And now we go to 5-5. Sorry, 6-4, actually. We're not going to be tied up. It's going to be Infused with a 2-round advantage, actually breaking the bank as well of EnVyUs. It's such a crucial round to win. Trials there, stepping up big. And no gun saved. Red Snake finds him. Man of the hour, the man that found those 2 frags in front of your screen right now, Trials. Aaron there to the right, Neil M standing up right behind him, the coach motivator. Red Snake on the left, giving the call right now, the IGLN captain. You can see Neil M prepping the players for this crucial round. They can't allow themselves to lose versus the Eco. This should be a fairly clean round for them. And actually, it's going to be the force play coming out from EnVyUs. So, similar to the Eco, they will have the pistols, but actually have the armor backing up behind it, which means if they do find a kill, they can pick up an AK and have that Kevlar to avoid the aim punch. Crucial if they want a chance of winning this upset round with a force buy.
Yeah, they need to just play it smart, play their own game, and don't let EnVyUs affect them in this scenario.
What's crucial as well is if Infused win this one, go to 7-4, EnVyUs are going to be forced to the Eco. That should be 8-4. And at that point already, Infused would have already won this first half, which I definitely wouldn't have been expecting after seeing Cobblestone.
So right now they're just playing it slow. Obviously just hold their angle, see if EnVyUs is going to peek into them. They're just playing crossfires essentially with these pistols, especially towards this B-bomb set. You can see the positions they're utilizing here. CZs like that in tight angles, very deadly if you walk into that trap.
They are indeed. Once again, there's Zeus on Haji though. Trying to see if he can find another frag with that weapon. Actually playing the end of balcony as well, but I don't think any of these teams will be going that direction. Through the smoke will be VKL to find frags, but actually the distraction there will allow Lambert to come in from behind and catch MCK off guard.
Mind games on display. VKL going to back off as well. They're in a good position. They can actually just play around this, full further back, hold those crossfires, hold their angles. They can just play for trades and essentially win this one out if they play it correctly.
Still, only 1 frag though, so can't really get 2 into this round. Jack's falling back. Ooh, actually, Echoes will even out the numbers 4 versus 4. All down to Jax now towards CT. Finds 1, finds 2!
Oh, this is huge from Jax as he strikes at the right moment, just whilst the iron was hot. Takes down 2 fantastic members of the side as he repositions as well. And he waits for his teammates. He's not going to get overzealous. VKL will shut down Aaron with a deagle. Sure, Red Snake can respond, but he's just overwhelmed. There's too many CTs encroaching. And they're able to strike and take him down. Defuse will come out, and that's 5-6.
Problem for me right now is the fact that EnVyUs winning these rounds could be the changing factor once we do get into the 13-13, the 12-13, or whatever. I mean, EnVyUs giving up these crucial rounds, losing versus the pistols, the Kevlar, rounds where you can just flush them out with Molotovs, play it slow, group up, play together, have set strats versus the anti-ecos. I mean, double nade towards Banana, right? Take control of mid, smoke off somewhere towards mid, arch, or towards quad. Try and see the reaction that you see from EnVyUs, but instead, they don't smoke anything off. 2 players towards mid. Lambert just able to push through, peek out, and find that frag onto MCK. Anyway, we are going to another pause. Not quite sure if it's tactical or technical. I just got confirmation it is a technical pause, but then again, for Infused, fairly good timing considering they did lose versus that force buy.
Yeah, I mean, not the worst case situation to be in. Obviously, gives them time to cool down. This actually slows down EnVyUs' momentum as well of a play like that, as they're not going to be in the best situation. I mean, as we work into it, right now, round 12 in this first half, fairly good showing from Infused in their T-half. This is what we want to see as well. They've got the energy behind them. They're actually finding some very fantastic frags. Trials has stepped up massively into this one as well.
Talk about frags as well, right? Red Snake 10-6 right now. We saw in the previous map it was 6 for 10 on Cobblestone, so already a much stronger showing there from the IGN captain. Man in front of you right there, James.
Honestly, one of the things as well that I'm actually quite surprised at is it feels like Aaron's having a bit of an off day compared to what we're used to seeing. Aaron, you know, he's been around for so long, played back in 1.6, obviously a beast of the UK scene. One of the sort of kings, really, when you think about it.
He is known as the Cardinal for a reason.
Yeah.
I mean, 8 months ago, 7 months ago, people were easily considering the best player potentially in the UK. I mean, he had European offers as well for high salary, but turned them down. He wants the normal life. you can't blame him, you know. That's one thing though, normal life, you're mentioning having an off day, but how much time can he really afford to playing CS in his off time, into his spare time when it's not working? Does that, or does the low hours come back to haunt him once he's on stage? I'm playing under that red Infused banner. Anyway though, going into this one, 5 AKs for the Team Infused side. We're not really going to be seeing much of an AWP, especially on the T side Inferno. They don't really have a, not stable AWPer, but a primary AWPer, right? Not someone who's always going to be dropped it, who's always going to be saving for it. Instead, they bring it out only if they need to. 3 players towards mid. We've got Aaron again in towards apps. Only Echoes towards B, trying to see if there's a push. We've seen Jack as well get quite overzealous there towards B, but talking about being overzealous, push comes in towards mid for the T side. 3 players here and the bomb. So if they get spotted with that, that could be a heavy rotation, but mentioning that already, you can see 4 players here for the CT side. Lambert takes a shot through Arch. We're seeing the T's push through.
Luckily enough as well, they're not going to dry peek into that. They won't overextend too far. They're going to use that utility smartly, so they can actually zone out Lambert rather than just dry peeking into the AWP crosshair. But this crossfire with Hajj, the man that was so huge in the opening map, this is going to be quite awkward. Him and Jack start to do a little bit of damage. They find the opening frags, but Mick claws it back as he gets into a fantastic situation. Mick off the back of a hat trick, leaves them in a 2 versus 2. Mick unfortunately will fall, and it's all on Eccles. He had a great first map. He's got energy behind him. There's hype in the team, and this will be a huge clutch round to win as he fires off the pot shots, nearly finds a headshot, but he just gets overwhelmed in that situation. EnVyUs play it smart, and unfortunately, they will be able to get the defuse.
They will indeed. You can see there, Red Snake shaking his head, thinking, how have we lost this round?
Oh, yeah.
They have control of mid, they're pushing up towards Arch, but there's no frags found for that T side. I believe they got 1 kill towards side, instantly traded there from the CT side, and from there towards apartments. So easy for VKL just to reign supreme and Jack as well on that side. They can do as well towards that balcony. Didn't quite have much of an impact. Lambert as well rotating in from library. Did find that kill towards quad. Match pause once again. So things do slow down. 6-6.
Yeah.
Gonna be the AWP onto Lambert. Again, I mean, his AWP hasn't really been that aggressive. It's more of a, what's the word I'm looking for? Supportive style, potentially? Finding the frags in the 4 versus 4, the 3 versus 3. He's not really going for those audacious, crazy first frags, right? If he has the B spawn, I believe it was Jack that went for the pick towards B, so this might be a similar affair towards Method, right? Usually we see Nilzinho play more of that supportive style AWP, and then if they wanted someone to go for that aggressive, early pick, first frag style, they'd hand it over to a Jenko or a Pulse.
That's the thing, it makes his life easier with calling. You know, you have kind of a little bit of a further back restricted.
Exactly, you can look at the minimap more. Obviously, when you're AWPing and IGLing, it's so hard to allocate both of your time to 2 things at once, right? The AWPer needs to know exactly what he's doing to the round, and obviously, as the IGL, you need to be knowing what your team is doing as well. So, in some respects, it is a lot harder to focus on both aspects, but then again, right, when you have the AWP and you call as well, then a map like Inferno does tend to aid that as well, right? You peek towards Arch, peek towards quad, you lead and dictate the pace of your T-sides.
Well, not even that as well. I mean, adding on to that, it's just the fact, as that AWPer, what's vital, what feeds how the IGL wants to play it out, is getting those feelers out there, getting the information early. You can gain so much information from a couple of early peaks with the AWP. We've seen Lambert playing a very sort of more restricted style, though. Not even when he's got the mid-spawn. We're not seeing that early phase coming out. He doesn't want to run any of those risks, which is quite nice to see. A very tight-run ship. You can see they have the structure there, and they do not want to deviate from that. But obviously, they're restricting themselves in some ways.
Then again, what's the point as well, right? Why go for the over-facing, the aggressive style when if you're playing slow and passive on cobblestone, it works so well for you. Just have faith in the other 4 players. I mean, you don't really need that initial frag. Even if they're losing it, even if they're a man down, they're still able to bring it back. I believe the match is on pause now. We're going live into this one. So, Team Infused, Red Snake was shaking his head because he looked at the bank. Pistols across the board, and that'll be it.
Not a great situation to be in, obviously. I mean, what are we expecting? A shotgun all round, some explosive?
Potentially. I mean, we've got the quasi by there, MCK of head armor and the Tech 9. Good HE nade as well would sink in a lot of damage.
Oh, petty skill as well. Just easy headshots. 1-2, 1-2 as he hands out these digs, finding frags towards Banana. Jax is going to have to fall back towards first oranges, though, and just try and hunker down. Quick rotate comes in for the CTs as well, so they are getting into position to deal with this. But the Ts seem to have decided to back off a little bit, slow down the pace.
They have indeed. So, 1 minute to run the clock. 1-man lead for the EnVyUs side. Just go finding 2 frags there towards sandbags. I mean, they had Molotovs. They're not mollying out sandbags, not mollying off the top of Banana. Instead, they're allowing these CTs to play crossfires, to play for each other. And it's not really good enough, to be frank. Close to the smoke. That's Eccles. They could flash him in, see if he can get a peek. See if he can find an entry bot. Can't do much versus the AWP of Lambert. Finds that first frag. Onto the push, onto this B side, sorry.
Oh, Jackson elevated angle as well, where you can deal so much damage. The eye in the skies, the aerial madman, as it comes into effect, will eliminate them both. And unfortunately, Infused don't get too much out of that fast eco round at all.
They don't indeed. So finally, Infused now going to be in the deficit by 1 round. EnVyUs at 7. Infused, what's important to note here as well is the fact that Infused did win the pistol. So that is 3 rounds. So you win your pistol, that's 1. You play versus the force on the eco, that's an extra 2.
Yeah.
3 buy rounds, 1 for Infused, and 7 buy rounds, 1 for EnVyUs. And finally, some aggression here from Lambert. Does get the leg and the tag. We saw something similar towards Apartments, but this time it goes for the reface. You can see he's gleaming with confidence.
This actually could catch him off guard as well. The fact he's gone for that secondary face, he's really quite heavily making his presence known. Infused aren't going to be expecting this, and this could play quite heavy mind games with him off the back of that as well.
It could indeed. You can see he has all the presence and the control towards Banana. He actually rotates Jax off, but he'll come back just because the Ts aren't really saying too much towards that A-bomb side as well. No smokes, no flashes yet. Not really been showing their hand and taking control of that A side. Boost comes in. Eccles might be facing into his death.
Meanwhile, over at the barn, though, they are going to be trying to take control of a bomb site. They found their way up quad, just covering their angles, but they need to try and get this a little bit more clean and coherent. We've seen a couple of mistakes as they've taken control last time. As you said, Eccles will be sniped down as well by Lambert as he found control towards that B bomb site. Hajj, he's at actually quite a deadly angle, just tucked in towards the site, obviously hidden. If they make their way on and don't clear this, he could tear them apart.
Smoke comes in front of Pip. MCK boosted up. Actually gets run boosted a little bit. Won't really be too much to say. The MCK does forward. Now Haji there towards the single box will find 2 frags. Actually, no, gets 2 assists as VKL from Pip underneath balcony find those 2 frags. They have the crossfire. Things that we haven't been seeing from the CT setups of Infused, right? You can see already on Inferno, EnVyUs having these great setups, playing for each other, having crossfires. That's exactly what Infused did not have on Cobblestone. So many times we saw 1 kill, then no trades following that.
That's what I mean. I mean, the basics of Counter-Strike, really.
Exactly.
Crossfires, trading for each other effectively. Oh, we actually see Lambert trying to go for a bit of a flashy play as well. They go for the run boost, and he wants to take the fight towards Red Snake, but decides that he will actually back off. They could overwhelm him well, but Lambert goes back for more. He loves the sloppy seconds as he finds the frag on towards Trials.
Flamboyant with the AWP as he finds the first frag here for EnVyUs. Trials does fall. 1-man advantage, make it 2 because VKL finds 1. Finds a second, goes for the spray down, but doesn't quite get it.
Lambert, again, hungry for some more damage, but it's just going to be Jax to pick off the stragglers in Aaron. Mix the last one on the scene. Hoping it causes a bit of a stir in this final round of the half. The flashbangs will go out. He'll peek over, taps away with the Tech 9, but can't quite find the kill. And EnVyUs do come out on top in that one.
From a 3-0 lead on the T side of Infused, they finished the half 9-6. Only 3 buy rounds being won for them. That's what, 3-9?
Yeah.
After that pissed around and those ecos were over, so the scoreline a little bit more misleading than it was. I mean, imagine if EnVyUs had won that, we could have been seeing a 12-3 scoreline on T-side Inferno.
That's what I mean, very all over the place. But the only good factor is they now got a little bit more confidence behind them. Seems like everyone's playing better individually, more like what we're actually used to seeing with some of these Infused players on paper.
Yeah.
Going into the CT half, they're favoured in terms of their defensive style, and the thing in the CT half as well, all you rely on is that individual aim capability.
Yes and no. They are lacking the AWP though, right?
Yeah.
Think about how important Lambert's AWP was on that CT side. There's no primary AWP for Infused. So it's going to be very interesting to me to see who is actually taking the reins of that arch position, potentially the hardest position on the map.
That's kind of interesting as well, because obviously, with the changes coming into effect, we need to see what Red Snake's going to bring to the table. Look fairly good with the AWP over on Cobblestone, but is that going to be the consistent factor?
Live into the pistol round. You can see Lambert mirroring exactly what Infused did to them on their T-pistol. Chucking an HE there towards Khan. Actually, that will block any sound as well. So imagine if you're there, you get hit by the HE, you can't hear if there's any footsteps. You might overcall something and cause an over-rotation.
Oh, Mick, this is kind of the player you'd want in this scenario, as they're going to try and take that apps control early, but unfortunately Aaron gets taken down. They can't trade this either. He has to rotate all the way over, struggling to stay alive, can't even get a frag on the board, will be shut down by Jax, which leaves them with only 3 remaining members on that CT side. This retake already looking kind of unlikely, but Eccles does a bit of damage.
Through the smoke, you'll find the frag onto Jax. Kit onto Red Snake. That was the HG as well. Imagine if that was a smoke, could have gone for the smoke defuse. Speaking of Red Snake, does find that kill onto Petersco, as we do lead into the 3 vs 3.
Red Snake can go trying to mount this retake, but the thing is as well, in the backline, we do have Lambert, who's just waiting to play from Boiler. He gets an instant backstab on Red Snake, and it's just as easy as that.
See, Nearlem knows exactly how hard this map is going to be now to win after losing that pistol. Red Snake looking dazed and stunned, thinking, what on earth happened towards A? How was that 3 vs 5?
He looks confused how that's even got to that situation.
He does indeed. I mean, you can hear the EnVyUs side, the French lineup screaming, realizing the fact that winning that pistol should mean a 12-6 scoreline. You win that first buy around 13-6, force them onto the low economy buy, and at that point, that should be all she wrote. That could spell the end already for Team Infused, potentially a swift 2-0, if, of course, they don't lose versus the pistols.
And that is the key factor. It's all lifts and butts at this point.
Actually, what's interesting here as well from EnVyUs is the fact that they have 2 MAC-10s, no rifles.
A little bit risky. Actually, just playing quite heavily with those MAC-10s, and everyone's getting obliterated, actually. They've walked into a huge stack. The scout damage from Red Snake, comboing with the pistol damage in close range, has paid off massively. They only have 2 players left to try and take down to pick up this round. Sure, they get the bomb plant, but this is an easy retake if they play their cards right. They just need to find this frag on towards Petersco, who's going for the aggro play.
Lambert now flashing him in towards Ruin. Does get the dink up towards Eccles. Because he gets tagged up as well. Double play towards Ruin. That's smart as well. 2 vs 2. They have Kevlar and armor, but Aaron finds that kill, turning to the 2 vs 1, spraying down. Petersco can't quite get it. You can hear Nearlem firing up the squad, shouting away, echoing throughout the whole cinema. He's loving every second of it.
That's what you need as well. Get Aaron riled up, get him back on form. We touched on how Aaron is such an explosive player. He is the Cardinal. We need to see it come to the stage.
Explosive, generally consistent as well.
Oh, yeah.
So for him, great play there for Infused side. As we do head over to the next round. So, reset there coming in. Going to be on that low buy. 10-7, only 3 rounds separated these 2 teams. A much closer affair than what we saw on Cobblestone. Eccles, the new addition to this team, trying to see if he can show he's worthy of playing in the Elite Series right now. And so far, he's been playing well. I mean, Cobblestone is really the only gleaming factor for Infused. Anyone really being able to challenge the skill on EnVyUs. In the second map as well, been playing his heart out. So another rack 10 for Hadji. Tech 9 onto Petersco. Actually, what's quite nice for them is the fact that they didn't overbuy into the previous one, which means they have enough money to buy AKs into this one.
Aaron, you can see concentrating quite heavily. Consistency is key with this man. 5 vs 5. Still, EnVyUs playing that very slow style that they absolutely thrive in. This is where they play at their physical best. They can dictate the pace of the game, especially on the T side as well. They can write the rules.
Can indeed. Tech 9 and MAC-10 trying to get that into close range. Hadji there spamming through the smoke. Hoping he can find that kill towards Quad. What's unfortunate for him actually is the fact that all of the CT players have head armor, right? If there was only Kevlar, no helmets, could have been that first shot, headshot, and that first shot kill at close quarters range. But unfortunately for him, they will have Kevlar helmet, which means the triple dink, the double dink, it's not going to be his day.
Peeking into an absolutely wild man himself, Eccles, as they slowly get into the back line. Is Eccles going to clear this? It seems like they're running straight to Red Snake, actually, as they've deviated through Arch. Hadji will find the frags. He rips his way through with the MAC-10. Aaron does a little bit of damage back. Will eliminate Jax, but it's on VKO and Hadji to really start to reignite the fire. Look at the tag through the smoke as well. Aaron only left on 25 HP. Mick on 100, but this is unlikely. You just need to save because this is way too out of your control.
Infused, going to cut their losses. Try and come back again stronger. Thank you, Observer, for bringing up the scoreboard. I was about to ask what the money's like. See, $200 across the board. Yep. Not enough to buy up into this round. They won't have M4s. They are saving the rifle, of course. 2 rifles there, MCK and Aaron. But then again, what can you really buy up into this one? You want to go for the force buy. You're going to get 1.4K, so you can drop over 2 UMPs. You can have 2 M4s, 2 UMPs, CZ or whatnot with decent utility, so the buy will be okay, but okay at best.
this scenario as well. It's kind of getting towards that crunch time where, if you're using that CT side, once we get to those full buy rifle rounds, they need to come in early. They can't start off with a weak full buy and try and recover it at that point because EnVyUs is going to balloon out of control. They need to get real quickly.
They do indeed. So, 11-7, Infused going to be going for the force buy. Actually, they're not, I'm wrong. No Kevlar on Echo's Trials or Red Snake, P250s and USPs. They're not going to play for the reset. Can we take a look at the money real quick, please, Observer? Can you bring up the scoreboard for me? I'm just trying to see what the money's like on EnVyUs because, yeah, so 0, 1,400. The thing is, if they win this round and reset the money, they grant themselves an extra 2, 8, 9, 10. That could be a 10-11 scoreline, but enough for the future into the present. It's MCK. He does fall to the Molotov and the spray at Petascal. One-man lead with 1 minute 10 on the clock. And the point I was trying to make is, when you do lose the round, you go for the force buy. You're trying to break the economy back and try and get the momentum in your favor, but instead they go for the save. Maybe overthinking how much money EnVyUs had. Maybe they thought that even if they won this round, they couldn't break the bank still.
Yeah, a little bit potentially of a misread going into it. Obviously could come back to bite them. Right now, though, EnVyUs stacked outside towards that B bomb site. Echo's getting a lot of information as he had gone for the second mid play. Aaron gets shut down. That's not how you want this round boiled down to. Already left in an awkward spot. It's just going to get worse by the second. Hadji just dish everyone out of the server. Any chance you give him, he will find these frags so easily. Through smokes, through flashes. He doesn't give a damn.
Doesn't indeed. 12-7 now. Let's take a look at the buy coming in for both sides. 4 rifles on EnVyUs, going to be the FAMAS there onto Petascal. It seems like he's the support player, right? It seems like on the pistol rounds, he's the one buying the utility. He's the one taking the hit in terms of firepower. Going to the Tech 9, dropping of the AKs. Infused going for a second eco. 13-7. Are they banking on an AWP and a full buy? Then again, I mean, who's going to bring out the AWP? Who's playing Arch for them? And we haven't really been seeing a structured full buy. So far, it's always been half buys, UMPs, 2 M4s there, 2 M4s here. So without the AWP in play, it's been hard to see how Infused are structured on their CT side. And if we do get to see the AWP, who's going to wield it and who's going to take up the Arch position? And then again, what do you really do there? Are you going to play aggressive? Are you going to play defensive? What style are you going to try and use and expose the weaknesses of EnVyUs?
That's what's quite scary, is obviously with that sort of structure, it's not as strict. Oh, Eccles peeks out, hoping to do something so Aaron could try and trade with him or at least have that crossfire potential. But he just loses his head in a matter of seconds. So Aaron just trying to play off the audio cues now up close and personal. Will peek out at the right time and shuts down Lambert, but Mick has been dropped at the same time. Red Snake also unfortunately going to follow the same fate as Agi. Of course, he doesn't just get the one frag. He's going to have the double.
He loves every second of it. Gets a 2K, goes for more as well. Smokes beneath him, pushes through that CT position and hunts for frags. Jack's there. Going to be from the last kill to Aaron. 13-7. This is what they saved for, right? 2 saves, 2 ecos for this buy and this buy only. Let's take a look at what they've got to wield. Ooh, that was a crispy shot there from Hadji. And then obviously the spray up and he gets that 2K. So lights out performance here from Hadji. Jax as well, 22-13. Hadji might be on 13 kills, but after that cobblestone performance, I mean, single-handedly carrying his team. But enough of that. It's going to be the AWP on Echoes of all people. Has the mid spawn. Doesn't go for it. They're going to be peeking in towards apps, but actually gets cold feet. Gets a little bit scared of that Molotov coming in. Doesn't take the risk. You go, you peek towards second mid, you run through the Molotov, you take in 50 to 80 damage. If you don't find a kill there, you've almost thrown the round instantly.
That's the thing. Such a heavy investment onto him as well. It just isn't worth the risk at this late into the game where EnVyUs could be taking that round 14 at this point. Going for the contact burst into A.
Exactly. You see these 2 players come back towards B. Lambert throws that smoke. It's probably going to go towards Mini. Yeah, it does. So that cuts off. Oh, where are they looking?
This is ridiculous. The contact play, Hatchme as well, gets away with such a ridiculous play. You shouldn't be achieving things like this. It's mental to see that they've just been able to pull that off. You go for the flashbang over, instant burst out of apps, but he just glides down with such confidence. No one is focusing on those angles. Both players focusing towards mid. No support from pit or site. So they just get obliterated, even just on Red Snake and Trials, that have to save.
You can see what they do as well, right? They show presence towards B. They have the 3 players ready in apps to go as soon as that smoke lands. Lambert and co. I believe it was VK. Yeah, what? So VK and Lambert go towards B. They chuck nades, utility, flashbangs, molotovs. They fake it. And that means one player there from Arch rotates. As soon as he rotates, that leaves Aaron and Eccles towards A.
Red Snake trying to hold back. Seems like Nope, wasn't meant to be. Thought he was actually going to get away with this rifle, but after time we'll get shut down.
Did we just miss a round? That was that quick?
No, that was the continuation. Obviously,
Oh, okay,
afterwards,
okay. Got a bit worried there.
You're all right, mate.
Yeah, I know, a bit on edge. What can I say? Anyway.
Yeah, that was the...
Oh, that was disgusting as well. One spray, 2 frags like that.
That's what I mean. That's the thing as well. They couldn't even trade efficiently because as soon as he got that first frag, all it took was him to flick up, continue with the spray transfer, and get the second headshot. That's the U-Frag Generations A-tape, mate. The apps burst.
U-Frag Generations, gosh. Got to give a shout out to Sed, big member of the UK scene. Anyway, though, you can see the grins and the smiles there from EnVyUs, having a whale of a time across the seas towards the UK. Obviously, loving the banter.
Haji's loving it.
Must have a cheeky Nando's having a grin like that.
He's on a high.
What do you reckon he would order?
A man like Haji?
You reckon he goes spicy? I reckon half a chicken, hot.
I'm thinking he's going for the whole chicken. I think the amount of frags he's pulling out, that's the only place he's getting the energy from.
Maybe. 14-7. I mean, the money for Infused right now as well, 3,000 across the board.
Yeah.
It's not looking too good.
The thing is, they're definitely not out of this one yet. You're on the preferred side. They have structure. Cash isn't great, though. And the fact is, they don't have much of a buffer left to play with. So there's a lot of factors stacked on them, but there is a slight chance. They just need to sort things out.
They do indeed. I mean, we are unpaused. Let's see if this one does head into the round. I believe it will be. So round 22 does begin. 5 rifles on that T side. And look at the buy from Infused. 4 UMPs, 4 SMGs, and a FAMAS, not even an M4 there. Yeah. At least the utility is decent. I mean, you've got 2 smokes, you've got 2 Molotovs. What can you really do? I like the play that they're playing fast and aggressive. H's raining. Eccles gets the opener. This is spot. This is what I wanted to see. Those aggressive mid-takes. The nade strats coming out as they flood their way through. VKL will get the opening round as he actually starts to bring it back a little bit. Leaves them in a 3 versus 3 that does have a lot of potential. Aaron, though, spots them out, has a bit of a sniff and works out where they're going to be taking this play. It will be the A bomb site that is going to be attacked as Jax will slip his way out through balcony. The flashbang goes out. Oh, it's actually the mind games. They're lampooning him a little bit, Snods, as they backtrack. Seems like Jax struggles to come out of apps as much as I do.
It's true. Yoshi would not be happy with that play.
He would not indeed. Anyway, though, 3 versus 3. Slow play here from Jack. Trying to see if he can find a frag. Bomb is still towards apps, though. And as well, VK are holding towards second mid, seeing if the CTs are still lurking around there after that mid push. But luckily for them, though, 2 players headed towards B. And actually, you can see Aaron on the rotation here might go through Library or Arch. Get caught off guard.
Oh, Jack's at the angle cover, but Aaron plays it smart. Oh. Stops. Aaron, the 6th sense. It's there.
Oh, you just slipped past him.
That is huge.
Charles, what are you oh, my goodness. I mean, that is literally a game of milliseconds. I mean, the face palm says it all.
Jax with a follow-up frag as well as he dispatches of Aaron. The round was manageable, but now it's a lot less manageable. You leave it in the capable hands of Red Snake, but it's still going to be such a highly unlikely task. Makes his way over, can upgrade his weapon, I think, because there should be an M4 close by, but probably just go for that save and try and play for OT here.
OT, though, what? 8 rounds away, 8 rounds of the trot. You make one mistake, you slip up once, and that's it. The 2-0. I mean, Red Snake playing well, 14 frags for him, but 14 frags isn't enough. Typically, we see Aaron, MCK, Fry 1. I mean, imagine if they had Fry 1 there, right? This could have been a very different affair. No disrespect there for Trials, obviously, but you're taking out your best player you've been practicing with. You're bringing in a substitute, so regardless of whoever it is, you are going to be in a weaker state.
Fry loves this environment as well, doesn't he? Always had good performances in those sort of LAN environments. You could see, even though he didn't have as much experience when he started off playing in them, he learnt to perform incredibly well in those environments. So definitely might have had an edge playing from the arena today.
Exactly that. So, finally the AWP on Lambert.
Yep.
Then again, though, has he really... This is the thing, right? EnVyUs haven't really shown too much with their academy team. They haven't played too many officials. Hard to read them if you are a UK team coming into this. And already, what can you gain from this? You watch this demo back, there's no strats. I mean, there was a little bit of cobblestone, they had the 1 execute, but apart from that, Lambert hasn't had the AWP. We haven't seen them their full potential. They haven't been forced to show their hand yet. And that's going to be vital leading in to the rest of the Elite Series.
I mean, yeah, we've basically seen what? Split and pick default?
Yeah, basically. Winning Angels, Haji just demolishing everyone.
There's been nothing other than sort of the standard 2-1-2, hold for angles, take map control slowly, play for picks. That's kind of it. there's not really anything too interesting. But Lambert going for a contact play this time around with the AWP towards the B bomb site. Just scoping in. I think he's caught a whiff of some Infused players.
He's going real slow and steady as well. Doesn't want to make any mistakes there, but gets flashed off the angle. Trials there, will eventually find that frag. 50 seconds on the clock. You can see they didn't show the bomb as well.
Yeah.
Bomb still towards T-step, so not really that much info for the CTs. Jack now towards Apps, trying to see if he can equalize the numbers.
But Jack, is he aware of the location of Mick? Up close and personal, playing with that Kalashnikov, could do a lot of damage. The smoke is going to go out, but he strikes instantly. Smart, spam it to the smoke. You know he's close by. Wouldn't have time to rotate off the back of that. Mick with a second headshot as well, and Aaron finds one towards VKL. And saving that M4, trying to play for the OT. Smart decision make.
7 more rounds needed and required for OT here. I believe that'll be the first overtime of the Elite Series as well. Every single game finishing in regulation at that 16th round.
Yeah.
15-8, round 24. No AWP on the CT side. 5 rifles, 2 AKs picked up, 3 M4s, good utility as well. On the flip side though, EnVyUs are going to have that 4 AK setup with the AWP on Lambert, trying to close this one out. Look how fast he's playing and aggressive he's playing. Doesn't quite get the flick though. Doesn't pull the trigger in time, and Eccles will find that initial kill and grant his team that 1-man advantage once again.
Very scary stuff though. You can see trying to play off the back. Movement, huge tempo play.
Thing is though, once this gets a little bit closer, right? 10-15. At that point, all it takes is 1 or 2 bar-round wins, and when you add in the ecos as well, this comeback is actually looking a lot closer than it really is showing.
Yeah. They're in good form. The only thing is, Infused need to just play it structured, play it smart. That's all we need to see coming out from them. Hajime as well. It's always scary when you see this guy getting into those sneaky positions. He can be an absolute monster at times. Send him off onto his site and he will rain havoc.
He will indeed. 1 minute on the clock. Haji now towards the second balcony. He can actually peek towards default, but I don't think he's going to be seeing anyone. Oh, that's a nice flick there from MCK. There's the head off of Haji. That's going to force. They don't want to go anywhere near that raw firepower. They're going to be forced back towards B. Can they catch 2 players off guard though? Down to Trials.
Oh, Trials will get the opener in the things as well. There's already an extra CT on the site. The quick rotate has been called to instantly try and get over there as well. Red Snake does some damage as he now just has to stay alive, but he'll do one better. Red Snake will flex his guns a little bit and shut him down.
He wanted it up. Takes the headset off. Having a cheeky chat there with Neil. As the in is out as well, so I don't want to say too much. As if he will be able to hear that. In is back in. Astro's back on. And now we can finally talk about the money, so 15-9.
Yeah.
Round has begun. Let's take a look. Infused now finally starting to gain a bit of cash. The problem is, though, of course, it's not about the cash at this point. Even if Infused lose rounds, it's not about buying up into the next one. It's the fact the game would be over. Infused would be at 16. Smoke comes in towards mid, denying any CT vision, any CT information. And VKL and co can be heading up towards Banana. Nice and slow, taking control. See, these were the Molotovs that Infused were lacking on their defaults.
Yeah. It's just that difference in the depth of their playbook. A few more additions here and there that just allow them to play a little bit more structure, have a lot more options. That's the difference maker.
So, we've seen some fairly audacious play from Lambert so far of the AWP. Pushing in, just running at players, just wanting to get this one over with. The problem is if you pull your trigger too early or you play too aggressive, you give room for Infused, for the underdog to come back, right? You don't want to be giving them chances like that.
It's true. You can't try and give them an inch. Because as we saw earlier, Hajj alone will take a mile. So the entire team, they'll be taking the whole length of the M6.
Oh, of course. Whole chicken as well, of course.
Oh.
He'll have that as well.
Yeah, anything. Yeah, whatever's on the table. Don't leave anything lying around.
So, oh, that's a nice position here as well. Going to be able to catch 1 frag. Surely. Oh, actually he doesn't. Take that back, Caster's curse. Jack somehow, some way anticipates his play. Look at the pressure now onto all these players towards B. They know they're being sandwiched in.
Getting converged on, everyone is grouping together. They would need an absolutely tenacious defense to try and hold them back. But let's see if that is going to be the case. Trials goes huge. He gets the opener. Red Snake gets 1 frag, but can he find anything else? The nade rolls out as he's trying to force them to play around. Aaron behind him as well. Surely they should find this kill eventually. They do shut him down, but the bomb has been planted. The 2 players on that T side have secured the site. They're in after plants.
No utility for the CT side. They have 3 kits. 3 versus 2, the man advantage. Lambert here, he needs to find this first kill, but good rotation. Double play through Ruin. He won't get that first kill. Peeks out, does get the first.
But he actually finds the opening frag. Sneaks back in for the second, but his penny skill to do the damage. It's a 1 versus 2 here, and Red Snake's the one trying to clutch it. It wasn't meant to be. And unfortunately, Infused couldn't quite muster it. It is going to be EnVyUs going for the 2-0.
One-man advantage there, 3 versus 2. If they win that round, 50-10, break the money, there's a chance for that comeback, but unfortunately for them, it's going to be a very dominating showing here for the first week of the Elite Series. As EnVyUs Academy, they're firing on all cylinders.